Welcome back to Vintage Steel Garage. This week we're going to start with tidying the garage, so I'll do it as a fast frame doodah, whatever you call it, so you don't hear me waffling and talking away while I'm doing it, because it's going to take a while. But I've decided I'm going to try and do an hour a week and tidy it, because if you just have a look round, I can't use the bench, can't get to the racking, shelving. The front of the truck is an extra bit of storage. And down here, there's just no floor space. And I can't even get out my back door. So I'm going to start tidying up and let's see how much better we can make it.
Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you want to be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up.
Okay, so it's another day, it's a bit colder, hence the coat on. Done a bit of tidying in the garage. If you look behind me, I've actually got a tidy bench for the first time probably in about a year. And my philosophy is a little bit of tidying every time I come in the garage. I'm going to do 3 things with my parts that I've got. I'm either going to put them in the bin, I'm going to keep them, or I'm going to sell them on Facebook Marketplace or eBay or wherever. And that's how I'm going to go through everything. Now I've done the bench, done the cupboards underneath the bench. I need to tidy the top of my toolbox because I know one of my friends, it drives him around the bend, but I do need to sort that out. I've started using my new toolbox there and putting things in there, so I've got it all tidied in here and got all my hammers in there. It's the first time ever. Usually they're just all over the floor. Still need to unearth the Apache. Still sticking to the plan that that's the next one I'm going to look at selling till of course I drive it and I like it again. But I just need to create some space in the garage. I want to get the Porsche in, I want to get the Boxster in, and I want to get the 911 in the garage. That's my plan really. And just downsize on cars a little bit. There's still plenty to do on those vehicles, so there's still plenty of content for the video. There's plenty of things to do. Got a jobs list on the board as well, so that's a good way of prioritising what you need to be doing. So the next jobs I'm going to be looking at, I'm going to do 3 jobs today on the Boxster. I'm going to replace 2 of the idler bearings, which is a sort of a self-created problem. Just before I went to Le Mans last year, I had a problem with the 911 that some of the idle bearings were a bit noisy, and I thought, probably overreacted really, because it was the night before and you go into panic and meltdown when you hear a new noise. So I pinched all the idler bearings, all the idler pulleys with the idler bearings in, pinched all those off the Boxster, put them on the 911. Now I'm keeping the 986. I need to replace the bearings within them, and it's quite a simple job. I've done a separate video in the past on it, but I'll show you how to do it again today. And what else are we doing? Oh, we're having the wing repainted. I scratched the Boxster I've had it since 2017, so I've had it 8 years. I scratched it about 5 years ago, and I squeezed past it with a toolbox. And at the time I thought I should turn around really, or lower the toolbox. Anyway, I didn't, and it was one of those cantilevered ones. In fact, it was that red one there, that evil thing just there at the top there. And I scratched the wing and it was furious. And I've been so annoyed with it every time I see it. I finally thought, since I'm keeping it, just get the wing painted. So it's going in the body shop tomorrow for painting. So what I need to do is I just want to make sure they don't get it. I hate it when it comes back and it's got overspray on bits and pieces of the trim. So I'm going to take all the trim out around the wing, everything out, so there's no excuses about getting any overspray on anything. So I'm going to strip that out, replace the idler bearings, and I've also got this sill trim here, which I mentioned in the last video, which got scratched. Don't know how it got scratched, but it was only £8 from a breaker's yard. Polished that up and it looks good. So I've got to get the old one off. The old one's already off, and someone had silicone sealant on. It's a nightmare. They must have used a whole tube of silicone sealant. So I've got all that to scrape and peel off the sill before I can just put this on. But next time it's going to get put on with some self-adhesive tape, just 2 strips of it. That's all it needed really. I don't know why someone had gone to that level of using a whole tube of silicone sealant. And there's the idler bearings, which I'm going to be replacing. So let's get outside and crack on. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the trim out of here, I'm going to take the spare wheel out and all the loose bits and pieces, take this plastic trim out the side, take the rubber trim out, up round there, around the windscreen washer bottle and down here, just to give them some better access and make sure there's no overspray. And what I did, this is where I scratched it years ago. I put a minor scratch in the wing there and then proceeded to fill it with paint quite impressively, and then just made a flat spot here and rubbed it through. So I made a bit of a mess, so I'm not too happy about that. However, I've come to terms with it now and we need to paint it, so let's get this stripped out. Now we've got the trim out, you can see there's a sticker here that's got on it ocean blue metallic, so that's going to help the paint shop paint it up. The headlight will come out really easy, you just need a 6mm socket in there. Headlight then slides forward and comes out, and this indicator side repeater just unclips. So I'm going to do that when I get to the body shop, because obviously I can't drive down the road with no headlight and no trim. Pollen filter, definitely seen better days. I need to order one of them. That's quite a mucky little thing, isn't it, there? That needs sort of replacing. There's some dirt in that, so I'll get that replaced. And then this is the next bit you need to have a look at. Look, all the leaves down here, and there's some drains down there as well. So I'm going to get the battery out. I'm going to show you the tip with the battery what to do. You basically turn the ignition on, then disconnect the battery. If you don't do that, your alarm is going to go off and all your neighbours are going to know exactly what you're doing. So yeah, there's quite a few leaves down there, so I think I'll get this cover off as well, have a look down. It's a good idea to get the vac in, clean it all out, lift all the debris out and sort that out next. This battery tray, there's 4 bolts holding this battery tray, and I'm going to take that out. You can see all these leaves and debris, and this is probably from the car sitting outside for a year, which is not good for it. So I don't want all this to start rotting down here. So I'm going to get the tray out, get the vac in there and get all that out. Battery tray out now, and that's the top of the fuel tanks. That's the fuel sender there. Look, my little special hand just pointed it. And these are the drains we need to clear, I believe, just down here. So there's a drain there, there's one there, and I think there's one under there, just down there. There's one just down there, and there's another one over there. So there's 4 drains to look at. Okay, so what I found is ideal for cleaning out these drains is a little emulsion or gloss roller, because they just go down the holes. In here now, all the drains are cleared out. If I can just try and focus right in on, that's the drain there, just underneath the hose. You can just see the rubber of it. There's one just down there. Just down, if you follow that clear hose down, there's just one there, so there's 4. There's 4 in total, 2 this side here and 2 that side over there. So they're all clean, so we can put the battery tray back in, get the battery back in, and that's ready for the paint shop. Next job I'm on with is removing the silicone sealant from this trim plate. Now I've put some of this no-nonsense sealant remover on. This is what you need to be using. Don't just go at it with a screwdriver, because you'll just take all your paint off. So I'll put that on, left it on for a good half an hour, then I'm just using a plastic body filler scraper, and it's coming off, I'd say fairly easy. It's not super simple, but it is coming off. So this is probably going to take some time, so I would go and put the kettle on and come back in 20 minutes when we've got it all off. Right, so there's the first scrape done. I'm just going to go down, put some more on, leave it for 20 minutes and come back to it. Right, just going to brush some more of this on and leave it to do its thing. These are the 3 idler pulleys here. You've got 1, that's also the tensioner, 1, 2 and 3. So I'm just going to start the engine, put my stethoscope on and listen to see which are the worst ones to go for. Okay, so the worst ones are this one here, which is a tensioner, and this lower one, this top one's okay. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to mark the belt, direction of the belt was in, because that's important. I might even change the belt, but in case I want to reuse it. And then this is the time now to take a picture of the orientation of the belt, or else you'll never remember which way it went on, because it just seems so simple now. It goes around the water pump, over the pulleys, around the crank, round the aircon, round the power steering pump, round the idler pump, round the alternator. But the reality is, when you come back to it, it's not very clear. So I'm going to go and take a picture of that. So what we need is a 24mm on here. You prise that down. Just like that, that gives you enough. Maybe just one more flat. That gives you enough there to get the belt off. And then we'll have a look at the condition of the belt. Okay, obviously had a... Right, so it's a 13. So I'm going to take this off. Right, I'm going to leave the bolt in so then I know it's in the right position and I don't get the two of them muddled up. So this one now, even though it's a 24 on the front, from memory, it's something like a 14 or a 15 on the back, which is very tricky to get to. Right, we've got that pulley off. I think you can just maybe see that bolt there, and it's a bit of a sneaky one, 15mm head at the back. So now we've got the pulleys out, let's get in the garage and replace them. So now we have the pulleys on the bench, we need to look at replacing the bearings. So what we'll do this one first. Just going to take the little spigot out that's in it. And then what we'll do is some covers. Now you can only do this, by the way, you can only do this with the metal ones. There are plastic ones available, but they are, you can't replace the bearings. So if you're lucky and you've got metal, why am I doing it? Well, the bearings are £10 each. These pulleys range between 50 to 120. So why would you want to pay potentially £360 for 3 bearings when you can pay £30? So there's the old bearing, you can see the seal on it. I did take them out and repack them in grease last time just to buy them a bit more time, and it's got the part number on there. I'll put the part number down below for it, but this is a Dunlop bearing, double row bearing. Funny, isn't it? That's a double row bearing. Okay, smaller than your IMS bearing, but it's £10. As soon as you get to the IMS size bearing, it's £400. I don't get it. Right, so what we're going to do is press this out now, and what we need is a series of sockets just to push this out, and also something just to protect the vise. Not to protect the vise, just something to protect the face of the bearing, face of the pulley, something to protect the face of the pulley. That's what we're looking for. So we want a socket that's smaller than the hole in the back, something like that. So if you look there, you can see in the back there, that socket will fit in. So that will just get it going. I just feel it start to go now, and it's going to end up, well, it's got a bit more it can go yet. It's going to end up bottoming it out on this face, and then I'll put a socket on that side as well. Right, so you can see we pushed it out till it's flush with this face. We just need to push a bit further now. You could stand it on something and just give it a good whack with a hammer, I suppose, but I prefer to do it a bit of a sort of a slower wind out way. So I'm now looking for something bigger than the bearing, but not too deep. And the reason why I say not too deep is I don't want to run out of travel on my vise. That's all. Right, so in theory now, this should push all the way out. There we go. So that's the bearing out there. New bearing to be pressed in. Now I think they come ready greased. Just going to pop the cover off and have a look. Yeah, they do. So that's ready to go. Right, so pushing it back in is simply the opposite of taking it out. This time what we'll do, we'll have the protection on the bearing side. So we're going to put that in there like that. This is where you just got to make sure you've got it as true as you can, just to start it off, because you don't want to put it in cockeyed, but it will pull up true. There, so that's just gone in like that. And now for the final bit, if you're not careful, if you used another bearing to push that one in, if you use the old bearing to push that in, because that's ideal, that bearing gets trapped in the top because it sits lower than that. So what I did, this is a bearing from when I did the 911, and that's a right, I don't know if you can hear it, can you? It's a right gritty one. So you put that on there, line it up with it, and then push it all the way home. And that is it. And then just to check, you can see around the back it's all the way in, and there we go, bearing replaced. You just go do the other one, so it's very similar. Take the washer out, socket in the middle. Sometimes there's just a bit of initial, you think you're going to break it just to get it over the edge. As soon as it starts moving, you're alright. There, so that's that moving. Put a larger socket on the back. There we go. And that's that bearing out. And that one's very rusty. Look at that. In fact, that's really noisy. Listen. It shouldn't be able to spin fast like that. That's shot. This is the one I took out. That's not spinning. This is even the older one, which I'm using as a push to go in. That's a bit gritty. And then the other new one, no noise whatsoever. So yeah, that is proper knackered. In fact, I can even feel playing it. There's even wobbling in it and it's sticking. So anyway, doing this at the right time, aren't we? So, bit of clean the rust out of there. New bearing, put it in square. Put that in the vise. That's that one in. There we go. Both bearings done and ready to go back in. What was that? 10 minutes if that. Right, these off of the bin. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to put these back in. If it's just a repeat of removal, I'm not going to video it. If something occurs or I've got something juicy, I'll put the camera on and show you what I'm doing. But the belt was the same, you just need to get the same rotation. That's why I put an arrow on it. The belt's not worn, so I'm happy with that. Get these back on, torque them up, job done. Drive belts and pulleys back on, all fine. There was no drama at all in refitting them. Best to put the tensioner, the one that moves pulley, on first, because you need the room for the spanner to get behind with the second one, and then put the second one on. So that's in place. All the interior trim is back together now, and now I'm still working probably an hour or so later still on this, get this silicone sealant off. Silicone sealant is fantastic for sticking stuff, but if you want to get it off, it's evil. So what I've got at the moment is, this looks rather serious, doesn't it? It looks like I've got, this looks serious, doesn't it? This is the last thing I'm trying. So I've tried T-cut with a bit of water. I've tried the no-nonsense sealant remover, that worked alright. I've tried some sort of fake WD-40, and then the last thing I'm trying, which seems to be working, is this cleaner, which is a Loctite product here, which is for gasket removal. It does say 10 to 15 minutes for gaskets and 30 minutes for silicone gaskets. So I'm just trying that there now. It does seem to be taking it off if I just have a little peek underneath. We do seem to be removing it, because I think that's starting to remove some of the paint. Actually no, that could be where I've T-cut it. Right, so I'm finally ready to get the trim back on. Put some double-sided tape on the back there, 2 rows double-sided tape, and that's going to go on. It sort of roughly lines up with this bit of interior trim there, and we'll just go on like that. So here goes. Right, this is a one go at fitting it. So let's get it lined up there. There we go. There, that looks better, doesn't it? So we're back to how we were with the trim back on. Excellent. 3 jobs done on the Porsche. We've stripped the front end down, ready to go to the paint shop tomorrow. We've replaced 2 of the idler pulleys and we've replaced the sill trim. And ironically, the sill trim probably took longer than the idler pulleys to do, but there we go. So what I'll do, I'll update when it's back from the paint shop. The Boxster is back from the paint and it is looking absolutely fantastic. The guy got the mission, he understood the car. He's painted the wing and then he decided he's going to machine polish. He didn't charge me for that, machine polish the whole car. And when I picked it up, it looks absolutely stunning. Take a look at this. There, look at that. Now this is the wing he's painted, so he's had the headlight out as I asked him to. Painted it all properly, so there's no marks around. This was where the damage was here. So we sorted all that out. Made a nice job of it, and the colour match is absolutely fantastic. The same right amount of metal flaking. You would not think that wing had been painted, would you? And he's made a super job of the car, so I'm really pleased with it. It's gone from not being used to a year to thinking about selling to now absolutely keeping. So if we have a look at the scoreboard, we're doing pretty good. All the jobs are done on the Boxster now except fitting the belly panel. We've had the wing painted, everything. There's only 3 jobs remaining now on the Porsche. It's refit a belly panel that I took off about 2 years ago, if not more. The radio is intermittent. I've tried replacing the ignition switch. I think it's somewhere, basically it goes from the ignition switch, so it could be the ignition, there's a feed into the ignition switch, it could be the ignition switch, it goes through the fuse, could be a bad connection at the fuse, or it could be a bad connection at a terminal block, which is my highly likely. It could be the radio that's failed, so I need to sort that out. And then the final one is the exhaust note. It is too quiet. Now, since I'm keeping it, there's 2 things you can do. You can replace the exhaust to the aftermarket ones. However, most people have said that they drone. There's a lot of drone from replacement exhausts at between 2,000 and 3,000 RPM, sort of cruising speed at 70 miles an hour in fifth, which is no good because I do a lot of long mic distance in it. The other idea is you take the existing exhaust and you modify it. You change it either externally or internally, so it's not going through all the passes through the baffles, and people have told me those don't drone when you do that, and it gives you a bit of extra noise. And it's a bit like what they call the Gundo hack on the 911, where basically the 911, the pipe in the silencer and the pipe out the silencer are at the same side, the way they're configured on the 911, and you just put a bypass pipe between, so as when it's at full tilt, the gas doesn't go the longer route through the exhaust, it just bypasses the exhaust and goes out. But at lower RPM and cruising, the exhaust gases are slower, so they'll go through the exhaust, and it's a similar thing to that. So it'll bypass the exhaust permanently. It's a bit like what Porsche did, where they put actually an air-operated valve that you could press a button inside, and then you could make it more sporty. So why would you ever want to unpress it? Anyway, so that's what it does. So that's coming up in the next episode, or maybe the next episodes. My real aim I need to get on next is I need to get on the truck. So we need to start doing a bit of work on the truck with the flywheel, and the starter motor wasn't fully engaging. So that's going to be the next episode. So bye for now, keep watching, and thank you.